Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om
Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvaditam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavadhitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyananda, everyone. We welcome you all to this year's Pacchai Vratham program, which is a global taking with the guidance and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, observed by the whole of KAILASA. The Pacchai Vratham is followed by Devi Parashakti, Mariamman herself, for the purpose of raising the superconscious energy of every individual and the humanity as a whole. Today, as a part of today's segment, we're going to be diving deeper, as the title says. We're going to be understanding the Hindu history and how the Hindu history is not only the true history of the world, but also is important for the Hindu identity. Throughout the program, throughout the whole session, we're going to be diving deeper into this, but first going over the Pacchai Vratham, the importance of the Pacchai Vratham, the importance of worshipping the feminine consciousness in Hindu tradition, as well as the completion process, so that we can go through and have the completion with the mother in our inner space. Following the completion process, we're going to be entering into a short meditation and have the darshan of Devi Parashakti Mariamman and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. After that, we're going to be having the power manifestation and manifest the superconscious powers of Paramashiva, which after that, we'll be entering into this today's segment of Hindu votes. And so now, let's directly dive into the session. And we're going to be talking on a lot of exciting and interesting things today as a part of today's session for the Nithyananda TV. So exactly what is the Pacchai Vratham? The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in an effort to reach and accomplish the 17 sustained goals of the United Nations, through the revival of the authentic Hinduism in the form of KAILASA, which is the first Hindu nation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is teaching, sharing the importance, and initiating us all into the Pacchai Vratham. The Pacchai Vratham has multiple benefits of those who are observing the Vratham. Through the Pacchai Vratham, the science of Kaikalpa experientially starts manifesting in those who are observing the Vratham. The grace of Ganapati, the grace of Paramashiva and Parashakti Mariamman, as well as all the powers of Paramashiva, starts manifesting through us. Every year, on the last Sunday of the Tamil month Masi, the Pacchai Vratham starts, and it goes on until the last Sunday of the Tamil month Fanguni. Devi Mariamman, Parashakti, she herself observes the Pacchai Vratham during these 28 days for the welfare of her devotees. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, gives a beautiful example, shares how Devi Mariam and Parashakti is not only purifying herself, but purifying the entire Prakriti. The water element from the ocean, when it is purified by the fire element from the sun, transforms into clouds and showers down as rain upon all of us. This rain purifies the earth and the air space, making it the ultimate purifier. Mahamari, Devi Parashakti, represents the self-purification of the entire Prakriti, of the entire nature. Fasting is the purification process for each and every individual. During the Vratham period, Devi Parashakti, Mariamman, she herself observes the Pacchai Vratham, thereby not only purifying herself and the entire Prakriti, but also offering this opportunity to purify ourselves along with her. The Pacchai Vratham is designed to spiritually heal our physical and psychological ailments. The diet which you follow in the Pacchai Vratham helps to clear out all the toxins and blockages from your system. It also helps to strengthen your immune system to effectively fight off all diseases and relieve all your stress, tension, and anxiety. The benefits of observing the Pacchai Vratham is to purify our body and create a space for Paramashiva and Parashakti to manifest. To allow the spiritual healing to happen for the whole world when you become a space, a medium, a channel for Paramashiva and Parashakti to manifest. Not only that, but you are preparing your system, you're preparing your being to receive the signs of immortality by observing the Pacchai Vratham. And above all this, you'll receive the blessings of Devi Parashakti to stay protected from all diseases. Let us now listen and understand the Puranic story of Devi Samayapuram Mariamman, the roots of Devi Parashakti as Mariamman. And out of the thousands of places where the Mariamman temples are established in and around India, Samayapuram is the first tala, the first place where Mariamman was worshipped. The place of Samayapuram also happens to be a Shakti Pita, which are 54 places on the planet Earth where the bodies, the bio-memory and bio-muscle memory of Devi Sati had fell on the planet Earth. Samayapuram is the place where the eye of Devi Sati fell on the Bhumi. After the self-immolation of Devi Sati, Parandama, Lord Vishnu, with the Sudarshana Chakra, cut the body of Devi Sati into 54 pieces, which fell on different parts of the planet. Each place became a Shakti Pita, a place where Devi Parashakti is worshipped. Samayapuram is the place where the eye of Devi Sati had fallen. The temple of Samayapuram Mariamman itself was built by the Vijayanagara king. The Vijayanagara king was traveling northwards to wage war on a certain region. On the way, he had stopped and stayed in Samayapuram. At that day, on that time, he had declared that if he wins the war, he would build a beautiful temple for Devi Mariamman. With the grace and blessings of Devi Parashakti, the Vijayanagara king was victorious in the war which was waged in the north, and in true word to his commitment, built the temple of Samayapuram Mariamman. Devi Parashakti Mariamman is well known to take care of the practical, down-to-earth problems of her devotees. To protect her devotees from the chicken pox and all the other diseases, and to keep the peace as well in the region, Devi Parashakti Mariamman goes around the village in the night personally. People who have slept and sleep in the temple of Devi Parashakti have heard the sounds of Devi's anklets as she makes her rounds, marking her auspicious presence. Not only that, but this temple was also visited by King Dasharatha during his rule in Ayodhya, and also by King Vikramaditya during his rule in Ujjain. Let us now understand the importance of mother worship in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. In Hinduism, Cosmos not only reveres, but Cosmos celebrates, worships the feminine consciousness, feminine energy. Women who embody the feminine consciousness are not just revered, they are respected, they are worshipped in Hindu tradition. Hindu tradition does not just give equal rights to women. Hindu tradition reveres, honors, and worships them. In the Hindu Sampradaya, in the Vedic civilization, everything which is worthy of worship, be it the gods, the rivers, everything is given the feminine expressive way. The female names, the female expression names are given for the Shaktis, the energies, and the rivers. The whole earth itself, the whole nature, is called as Bhuma Devi in Hindu tradition. Because in Hindu tradition, the earth is not a geography, it is not limited to a land, to a place. It is worshipped as a biology. It is a living being and it is worshipped as female. And not just the earth, all the major rivers in Bharat, the Ganga, the Yamuna, Saraswati, Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri, other than the river of Brahmaputra, other than that one river, all other rivers are given the feminine names, the feminine expressions. Hindu tradition is the oldest tradition worshipping divine in the form of woman, the female form of Devi. Hinduism has the sampradaya of Shakta Sampradaya, which is dedicated, which worships the feminine energy, worshipping the highest source of the universe in the form of woman, worshipping God in the form of woman in Hindu tradition. It is not just that Hinduism gives equal rights to women. Hinduism both has much more. Hinduism reveres, honors, and above all worships women. Again and again and again, the Veda Agamas, they repeat that wherever women are pleased, wherever women are worshipped, all gods reside there with bliss and joy. In the Vedic tradition, we call this as Matra Rupena Samsthita. It is a beautiful shloka from the Chandi part, from the Chandi Parayanam. The verse goes, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matra Rupena Samsthita. Namastasyai, Namastasyai, Namastasyai Namo Namaha. The translation of this verse, who is residing in all beings. Even the being's word is not a complete transition, but whatever exists in the form of ultimate creativity, who is residing. Namastasyai, Namastasyai, Namastasyai Namo Namaha. I bow down, I bow down, I bow down. I surrender. This is the amazing stotra in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, which is defining, which beautifully depicts the place which is given for the feminine consciousness in Hindu tradition. Fundamentally, the essence of mother worship is mothering the cosmos inside of us. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself is fundamentally, basically a Shakta, a mother worshipper. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism became enlightened by the Shakta tradition, by the worshipping of the mother. Because our whole bio-memory is given to us by our mother. It is through the mother. Always the energy expression happens only in the mother worship. It is not that it doesn't happen in the other bhavas, in the other ways of relating with the divine, but it takes a lot more experience and a lot more time for the energy expression to happen. In the Matra Bhava, the energy expression is very quick and very strong. You may be in the body of a female or you may be in the body of a male. But if you don't start mothering the cosmos inside of you, you will become the cosmic mother. Mother worship is a different tradition of enlightenment. It is not founded on any social law. The masculine part is always social based, but the feminine part is completely enlightenment based. So whatever religion you may belong to, explore the feminine worship part of that religion. Fundamentally, the first and foremost relationship in our life is our mother. The ability to learn, even idea to relate, starts with the mother. How you relate starts with the mother. The idea to relate and interact with life starts with our mother. Those who have lived around their mother till the age of 14 are extremely blessed because you have had your mother living around you till the age of 14, then you automatically know how to connect with the divine as the mother. There is not a separate lesson which you need to take to connect with the divine. There are various attitudes, bhavas, and techniques to connect with the divine. In the bhava of the Sakla Bhava, which is the bhava of the friend, of the Pitru Bhava, of so many different bhavas to connect with the divine with the higher consciousness. But none of them come close to connecting with the divine as the mother in the Matra Bhava. The unique contribution to the spiritual consciousness from the Vedic tradition is the worship of sacred feminine worship as the mainstream tradition. Because fundamentally, even if everything which the Vedic tradition gave to humanity, if all of them is lost in some tsunami or some earthquake, just if this worship of woman, worship of mother, if this sacred feminine tradition, if this alone can be retained, then whatever is lost, whatever becomes lost from the Hindu tradition, from the Vedic tradition, everything can be revived back because the worship of mother is the seed. All traditions which missed the sacred feminine worshipping the sacred feminine, or techniques to awaken the sacred feminine, lost its life within 100 years. And this is why the Ramakrishna mission, the Ramana Maharishi's tradition, became so successful and was able to be established because Sharada Devi, in the case of Ramakrishna mission, Sharada Devi was included in the main worship altar, which the Ramakrishna mission understood, realized, and added it, and they became what they are today. Same way, in the tradition of Ramana Maharishi, the place was given for Ramana Maharishi's mother. So unless the place, the representation for the sacred feminine energy, the techniques to awaken the sacred feminine energy happen, neither enlightenment can happen, nor it can be transmitted. Mother worship is a vital part of the Vedic tradition, through which the enlightenment energy manifests. Now, after understanding the various truths and powerful cognitions the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has shared about the importance of mother worship and achieving the ultimate experience of enlightenment through the mother, let us now enter into the completion process so that we can experience the complete fulfillment, the complete space of completion with the divine as mother. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism beautifully shares once that only when we have completion with our father, only when we have completion with our mother, only then will we have complete completion with the Guru and with the divine. Because fundamentally, the incompletions which we have with our father, the incompletions which we have with our mother, it is the same incompletion we will project on the Guru, who is representing, who is the cosmic mother and cosmic father for all of us. It is the same incompletions which we will project on the divine, who is a manifestation, who is literally our withholding us, holding us in their lap. And so it is extremely important to have this space of completion. And so now, as we enter into the completion process, the process itself is designed to bring completion between you and your mother. But if there's anyone else in your life, any person who was a mother figure or a father figure or someone in your life who you looked up to and who took care of you in your life, through someone who you've had this incompletion, who has been a part of growing you up, bringing you up, raising you, having the completion with them, whoever was the mother figure of your life, having completion with them, this completion process you can do and you can identify, bring completion with them as well. So let us now enter into the completion process. The completion process is a 4-step process, which begins with us first identifying the earliest incident in our life where we felt that our mother was against us, where we felt that our mother was not supporting us. And so as we enter into this completion process, please make sure that you have a pen and a pencil, or you have a pencil and a paper. Please make sure that you write down the completion, the incidents and the root incident from which the incompletion started. You can also do this by typing as well, but it is highly recommended you do this by writing. Because when you write, you are completely centered, completely focused. It brings you only your focus, your awareness. You are completely centered in the completion process. So if you need to, please go ahead, take a few minutes to go grab a pen, paper, pencil, and come back. And also take this time to be completely integrated to the process. So whatever distractions you may be having in your life, be it through your various gadgets, notifications, or trying just closing the doors and windows, to give yourself that space, the vatavarna, for the completion process to happen. If you need to switch on a few lights in your room, please go ahead and do that as well. But take this time now to allow yourself to do the completion process. Because in our life, we give time for everyone and everything. But very rarely we give time for ourselves, give time for us to work on ourselves, our own being, the incompletions, the patterns, the engrams, the samskaras which we are carrying. How much of time are we giving for ourselves to complete those? So now won't take too long. It's just a half-an-hour completion process. Take this time now to bring completion to yourself, to bring completion with all the patterns, all the incompletions related to mother, related to the mother figures in your life. Write down the earliest incident in your life where you felt that your mother was against you and not supporting you. As you're writing this down, be as detailed as possible. Usually, these incidents would take place in your life much before the age of 7. Till the age of 7 is when the age from 2, 3, 4 till 7 is where these root thought currents, these root patterns, these root understandings start developing in us and become cemented by the age of 7. So write down the earliest instant in your life where you felt that your mother was against you and not supporting you. And try to be as detailed as possible. Who was there in the incident? What transpired? What did you feel? And what was your response and reaction towards your mother? What were the cognitions and conclusions which you had developed about your mother during this time? The instructions are going to be projected on the screen as well for your reference. And the light Mahavakya music is going to be played in the background. So now it is time, let us enter into the completion process. Again, as repeated, please allow to give yourself this time to do the completion. Allow yourself to work on yourself and bring this completion in you. It is now time, let us enter into the completion process.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashivam overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Bring yourself back. If you feel your mind is getting distracted, if you feel your awareness is going somewhere else, bring it back. Continue to authentically do the completion process. Bring yourself back, bring your awareness back to the completion process.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Be as detailed as you can
Manifesting all our third
during the completion process when you're writing the incident. Be as detailed
Let the Varni open up.
as to what transpired, few hours were there, what had happened, what were the emotions going through you, what were the ideas, thought currents, root cognition which were going through you during that time.
Overflow. Manifest the power.
Try to be as detailed as possible.
Third eye. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Once you have finished this part of the completion process, we can now enter into the second step of the completion process. Once you have completed writing down all the root thought currents, root patterns, the root incident fundamentally. Once you have identified and penned down the root incident, we can now move into the second step of the completion process. Now that you know the root current, the root incident, now that you know that the root incident from where all these incompletions started arising, from the first incident, from where you started having incompletion with your mother, having that incident, relive it 5 times in your inner space. And so now we need to understand the important difference between reliving an incident and remembering the incident. When we remember the incident, we are remembering it from the current cognition, from the current thought process, from the current logic and understanding about life which we are having right now. When we look at the incident from us, from however old we are, whether it's 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50s, from our current idea and understanding about life, when we look at that incident, the memory will give us pain, the memory will give us guilt, it will cause all sorts of incompletions in us. The Supreme Founder of Hinduism says very clearly that when we relive the incident, we should relive it as the child, as when we experienced the incident the first time. We should relive the incident as it has happened and as the child, whatever age you were during that time, be it 5 or 4 or 6 or 3, whatever age you were at that time, whatever cognitions, thought currents, thought processing, whatever understanding you had about life, about others at that time, from that same space, relive the incident. Because only then does the incident get relieved from your system. Without reliving, relieving is not possible. Once we have a root incompletion, once we are stuck, a root incident has happened. We don't grow up from that age. Only our body ages, but our mind still stays as that young 4-year-old child or as that young 5-year-old child. We don't grow up from that age. Right now, we are all still suffering with the minds of the 3, 4, 5, whatever age it was when these root incidents took place. And so now, as we enter into the second step of the completion process, relive the incident 5 times in your inner space as the child when you first experienced this pain incident. Again, make sure that you are not remembering the incident. You have to relive it, experience it as you were a 5-year-old child. And don't bottle up all the emotions which are trying to come out. Allow all the emotions, all the fear, understanding, guilt, whatever it was, allow everything to come out and express through you now. Allow all the emotions to happen inside of you as you had experienced it back then. Once you have completed the first step of the completion process, we can now enter into the second step. Let us now begin.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashivam overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vanni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashivam overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Let us now enter into the next segment of this completion process. The incident in your inner space for 5 times. We can now move to the next step of the completion process, where we relive, narrate the incident to ourselves in the mirror, loud and clear. Visualize, speak as if you're telling your mother about the completion process. Look into your own eyes in the mirror as you share the incident. Following this step, we're going to be directly calling our biological mother, the mother figure in our life, with whomever this incident happened, this pain pattern was created. We're going to be directly calling them and doing the completion. But before that, let us now do the Swapunatva Kriya of completing with this incident with ourselves in the mirror 5 times. If you need to get the mirror and come back, please go ahead, get the mirror and come back. And let us now sit and do this completion process. Do the Swapunatva Kriya. Narrate, read
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vanni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Identified the root incident. Once you have relived the incident in your inner space 5 times and relived the incident and narrated the incident to yourself in the mirror 5 times, we can now enter into the final step of the completion process, which is calling your biological mother, calling the mother figure, calling the person with over whom this completion process is happening, calling them and
Paramashivoham.
sharing the incompletion and bringing completion. After completing the previous steps, call your mother and tell her you want to complete with
Paramashiva's
her.
third eye manifesting
Give her the
all
context
our
first
third
for the
eye.
completion process and make sure you
Let the
actually feel
Amrita
complete
pour.
and want to take
Let the
responsibility
Vani open up.
to change your image of your mother.
Manifest.
Don't blame her for what had happened. Don't apologize for what you may have done. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism very beautifully tells all of us that completion is not necessarily accepting or apologizing for what has happened. You don't need to agree for the completion to happen. You can still have your disagreements. You can still have various opinions about the incident which happened. Completion is all about removing the hangover of the past in your present and in your future. Removing the hangover of the incident, the heaviness of the incident in your inner space. And so make sure that only completion is happening through this. That we want to take responsibility to change the image of what we have of our mother, not by blaming them for what had happened, neither by apologizing for what you may have done. Fundamentally, all humans, all of us want to have completion, want to live in peace and harmony. It is just our ego which is preventing us from taking the first step to allow the completion to happen. Let us now take the first step in our relationship, take responsibility and allow the healing of the relationship to happen. Dropping the past, not expecting anything in return, but just deciding for the completion to happen. Let us now enter into the fourth and final step of this completion process.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour. Let the Vani open up. Manifest in all of us. Let Paramashivam overflow, manifest the power in all our third eye. Om Jnananda Paramashivoham. Om Jnananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda
whatever resistance, wherever you feel a certain amount of resistance and fear, incompletion, anger, whatever it may be, which is preventing you from making the phone call, from opening up and doing the completion with your mother, drop everything now at the feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, at the feet of Swamiji. It is now time for the completion to happen. Because how long will you live with this incompletion? How long will this misunderstanding continue? Incompletion with your mother, and whatever it may be, has ripple effects in all the other parts and aspects of your life as well. The same way, when you bring completion in one aspect of your life, that also has positive ripple effects through the other parts of your life. And so now, once we have completed the completion process, take a few more minutes and call your mother and complete. Do the completion and allow the completion to happen in the relationship. Once you have completed this, it is now time. We can get ready and prepare ourselves to receive Devi Parashakti, Mariamman, as well as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Receive the divine grace and blessings. We are now going to be witnessing the live puja from Bidadi Adi KAILASA Nithyananda Paramashiva Devalayam. As the puja, the offering of gratitude, the offering of worship is being offered. We can take part and complete this cycle, this part of the Vratham, which is offering of our devotion to the divine. If you have the Shri Chakra, the Mahameru, the deity of Devi Parashakti, you can get the deity in come. Otherwise, if you don't have that, is also perfectly all right. If you just have the Guru Padakas, to which you offer the daily Guru Puja, you can even offer the Archana to the Guru Padakas as well. And the puja will begin with the Archana, the offering of 108 names to Devi Parashakti, followed by the offering of Dhupa, Deepa, Naivedyam, and the offering of Arati. So if you have fresh flowers for the Archana, please go ahead and get the fresh flowers for the Archana. If not, that is also fine. You can get the Kumkum, which is the processed Haridra, processed turmeric, which you can also use as a part of the Archana and offer the Kumkum Archana to Devi. So please get the items needed for the Archana, which is the flowers or the Kumkum. Also have the incense sticks, the lit lamp, and the Naivedyam, the cooked food, which is in alignment and according to the diet of the Pacchai Pattini Vratham, as Devi Parashakti is following the Pacchai Pattini Vratham. So please have that as well. And also please have the Arati prepared as well. And so now, please also make sure that you are in the traditional attire. And so for all the males, that would be with the Yoga Vastram and without the upper cloth, as well as wearing of the Rudrakshamala and having the Vibhuti and Kumkum in all the right places. For the females, it will also be in the similar fashion, but wearing the sari, the traditional sari instead, and wearing the Rudraksha, Kumkum, and Vibhuti in all the according places. Please take a few more minutes now and get ready. Once you have finished the completion process, finish completing with your mother, it is time to get ready to receive the divine, to receive Devi Parashakti and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Once you have all the items ready and set up, we can now enter into the meditation. Please sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a single line. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your Anandagandha. Visualize Swamiji residing in your Anandagandha as Devi Paramashiva Shakti. Start chanting the Mahavakya mantra, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, and allow the mantra to reverberate throughout the entire being. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरि परमशिवशक्तिमध्यमाम् नित्यानन्दपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां ललाटे त्रिपुण्ड्रे निटिलकृतकस्तूरीतिलकः स्फुरन्मालाधारस्फुरितकटिकौपीनवसनः दधानो दुस्तारं शिरसि फणिराजं शशिकलां प्रदीपः सर्वेषाम् अरुणगिरियोगी विजयते। ॐ सत्यै नमः। ॐ साध्व्यै नमः। ॐ भवप्रीतायै नमः। ॐ भवान्यै नमः। ॐ भवमोचन्यै नमः। ॐ आर्यायै नमः। ॐ दुर्गायै नमः। ॐ जयायै नमः। ॐ आद्यायै नमः। ॐ त्रिनेत्रायै नमः। ॐ शूलधारिण्यै नमः। ॐ पिनाकधारिण्यै नमः। ॐ चित्रायै नमः। ॐ चण्डघण्टायै नमः। ॐ महातपायै नमः। ॐ मनरूपायै नमः। ॐ बुद्ध्यै नमः। ॐ अहङ्कारायै नमः। ॐ चित्तरूपायै नमः। ॐ चितायै नमः। ॐ चित्यै नमः। ॐ सर्वमन्त्रमय्यै नमः। ॐ सत्तायै नमः। ॐ सत्यानन्दस्वरूपिण्यै नमः। ॐ अनन्तायै नमः। ॐ भाविन्यै नमः। ॐ भव्यायै नमः। ॐ भव्यायै नमः। ॐ अभव्यायै नमः। ॐ सदागत्यै नमः। ॐ शाम्भव्यै नमः। ॐ देवमात्रे नमः। ॐ चिन्तायै नमः। ॐ रत्नप्रियाय सदायै नमः। ॐ सर्वविद्यायै नमः। ॐ दक्षकन्यायै नमः। ॐ दक्षयज्ञविनाशिन्यै नमः। ॐ अपर्णायै नमः। ॐ अनेकवर्णायै नमः। ॐ पाटलायै नमः। ॐ पाटलावत्यै नमः। ॐ पट्टाम्बरपरिधानायै नमः। ॐ कलमञ्जीररञ्जिन्यै नमः। ॐ अमेयविक्रमायै नमः। ॐ क्रूरायै नमः। ॐ सुन्दरायै नमः। ॐ सुरसुन्दर्यै नमः। ॐ वनदुर्गायै नमः। ॐ मातङ्ग्यै नमः। ॐ मतङ्गमुनिपूजितायै नमः। ॐ ब्राह्म्यै नमः। ॐ माहेश्वर्यै नमः। ॐ ऐन्द्र्यै नमः। ॐ कौमार्यै नमः। ॐ वैष्णव्यै नमः। ॐ चामुण्डायै नमः। ॐ वाराह्यै नमः। ॐ लक्ष्म्यै नमः। ॐ पुरुषाकृत्यै नमः। ॐ विमलायै नमः। ॐ उत्कर्षिण्यै नमः। ॐ ज्ञानायै नमः। ॐ क्रियायै नमः। ॐ नित्यायै नमः। ॐ बुद्धिदायै नमः। ॐ बहुलायै नमः। ॐ बहुलप्रेमायै नमः। ॐ सर्ववाहनवाहनायै नमः। ॐ निशुम्भशुम्भहनन्यै नमः। ॐ महिषासुरमर्दिन्यै नमः। ॐ मधुकैटभहन्त्र्यै नमः। ॐ चण्डमुण्डविनाशिन्यै नमः ॐ सर्वासुरविनाशिन्यै नमः ॐ सर्वदानवघातिन्यै नमः ॐ सर्वशास्त्रमय्यै नमः ॐ सत्यायै नमः ॐ सर्वास्त्रधारिण्यै नमः ॐ अनेकशस्त्रहस्तायै नमः ॐ अनेकास्त्रधारिण्यै नमः ॐ कुमार्यै नमः ॐ एककन्यायै नमः ॐ कैशोर्यै नमः ॐ युवत्यै नमः ॐ यत्यै नमः ॐ अप्रौढायै नमः ॐ प्रौढायै नमः ॐ वृद्धमात्रे नमः ॐ बलप्रदायै नमः ॐ महोदर्यै नमः ॐ मुक्तकेश्यै नमः ॐ घोररूपायै नमः ॐ महाबलायै नमः ॐ अग्निज्वालायै नमः ॐ रौद्रमुख्यै नमः ॐ कालरात्र्यै नमः ॐ तपस्विन्यै नमः ॐ नारायण्यै नमः ॐ भद्रकाल्यै नमः ॐ विष्णुमायायै नमः ॐ जलोदर्यै नमः ॐ शिवदूत्यै नमः ॐ कराळ्यै नमः ॐ अनन्तायै नमः ॐ परमेश्वर्यै नमः ॐ कात्यायन्यै नमः ॐ सावित्र्यै नमः ॐ प्रत्यक्षायै नमः ॐ ब्रह्मवादिन्यै नमः श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्ति श्री इन्द्राक्षिदेव्यै नमो नमः नेत्राणां दशभिष्यतैः परिवृताम् अत्युग्रचर्माम्बरां हेमाभां महतीं विलम्बितशिखां मामुक्तकेशान्वितां घण्टामण्डितपादपद्मयुगलां नागेन्द्रकुम्भस्तनीम् इन्द्राक्षीं परिचिन्तयामि सततं प्रत्यक्षसिद्धिप्रदाम् ॐ धूरसि धूर्वधूर्वन्तं धूर्वतयोऽस्मान् धूर्वतितं धूर्वयं वयं धूर्वामस्त्वं देवानामशिषस्नितमं पप्रितमं दुष्टतमं वह्नितमं देवहूतममहृतमसि हविर्दानं दृगुंहस्वमाह्वा मित्रस्य त्वा चक्षुषा प्रेक्षे माभेर्मा संविक्था मा त्वाहि गुंसिषुम् ॐ ह्रीं श्रीं इन्द्राक्षीं श्रीं पें स्वाहा श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्ति श्री इन्द्राक्षिदेव्यै नमः धूपमाघ्रापयामि ॐ उद्दीप्य स्वजातवेदोपघ्नन्निरृतिं मम पशोगश्च मह्यमावह जीवनं च दिशो दिशा मानो हि पुंसीज्जातवेदो कामश्वं पुरुषं जगते अबिभ्रदग्न आगहि श्रिया मा परिपातय ॐ ह्रीं श्रीं इन्द्राक्षीं श्रीं पें स्वाहा श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्ति श्री इन्द्राक्षिदेव्यै नमः दीपं सन्दर्शयामि अथ नैवेद्यम् ॐ मधुवातारुतायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्नः सन्तोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषसि मधुमत्पार्थिवगुम्रजः मधुद्यौरस्तु नः पिता मधुमान्नो वनस्पतिर्मधुमाकुम् अस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः मधु 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 ॐ ह्रीं श्रीं इन्द्राक्षीं श्रीं पें स्वाहा श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्ति श्री इन्द्राक्षिदेव्यै नमः नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि ॐ सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते सृष्टिस्थितिविनाशानां शक्तिभूते सनातनी गुणाश्रये गुणमये नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते शरणागतदीनार्थपरित्राणपरायणे सर्वस्यार्त्यहरे देवि नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते ॐ ह्रीं श्रीं इन्द्राक्षीं श्रीं पें स्वाहा श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्ति श्री इन्द्राक्षिदेव्यै नमः कर्पूरनीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि रक्षां धारयामि शोणाद्रीशावताराय ज्योतिस्तम्भस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रदाताय नित्यानन्देश्वररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् मूलप्रकृतिरूपाय परमशिवशक्तिस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् दण्डत्रिशूलहस्ताय कालकालस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् आदिपूज्याय देवाय सकृत्पूर्णत्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् सर्वाभयविनाशकाय शत्रुसंहाररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् योगभट्टाभिषिक्ताय राजसन्न्यासधारिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् सार्वभौमैकपत्याय राजराजार्चिताय च श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलं कल्पवृक्षाय मङ्गलं ज्ञानदायिने परमशिवाय श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वराय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलं श्रीविद्याम्बायै मङ्गलं कामदायिन्यै सर्वमङ्गलदात्रे नित्यानन्देश्वर्यै मङ्गलम् मङ्गलं गुरुदेवाय मोक्षमूलाय मङ्गलं परमावताराय नित्यानन्दाय गुरवे मङ्गलम् त्वं स्मृतमहं धन्य मम प्राणमहेश्वर गङ्गाधरनामेति स्तोत्रस्थानं ददाम्यहम् हरिः ॐ तत्सत् सर्वं भगवच्छ्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवपादुकार्पणमस्तु ॐ नित्यानन्दम् नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदम्
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyanand, that was such a powerful darshan of Devi Parashakti. We are now established in a space of oneness and higher state of consciousness in the Paramashivatva itself. In the same space, let us now enter into the power manifestation. I welcome all the participants who are viewing us on the Nithyananda TV, Hinduism TV, KAILASA TV, and all the other Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and all the other platforms. I welcome all of you today. Today, we are going to be doing the power of remote vision and then the power of body scanning. Today, we are going to be scanning for all the issues, any problem that the other person is facing with their body right now. We're going to be scanning all of those now. Before we have done this power where we are able to see the other person through any, like a photo or through the video conference call. But today we are going to be manifesting this power through the remote vision. So we're going to be seeing them only through the remote vision. And once you see them through the remote vision, then you're going to be scanning their bodies and revealing what Swamiji is revealing to you. Now, you can call the person who you want to manifest this power for and get ready for the power manifestation. You have 5 minutes to call and get ready for the power manifestation. You can call them and tell them that you're going to be manifesting the power of remote vision and then the body scanning. You can call them and you can ask them also to write down everything first related to the remote vision, what they're surrounded by, what kind of an environment they're sitting in, like if it is like the office, or if they're sitting on a chair, or if they're sitting on the ground, or what color dress they're wearing, what kind of dress they're wearing, and everything. You can tell everything that you are seeing, whatever Swamiji is showing to you. So they have to write down all of those details. You can ask them to write down all of those details. And then next, the body scanning. You can ask them to write down whatever problems they're facing, if they have had any problem that day or in that moment, if they're facing any problems, any immediate problems that they're facing, like they had a minor injury, a cut or something like that, anything. You're going to be scanning for all of those kind of problems which the other person is facing. So let us now get ready. We have 3 more minutes to get a person who we are going to be manifesting the power for. So as all of us know that these powers are from the Shastras, which are revealed by Paramashiva himself in the Vedas and the Agamas. And the Hinduism has different methods of teaching. First is the Shastra Pramana, which Paramashiva himself has revealed through the Vedas and the Agamas. Next is the Apta Pramana, which the Rishis have time-tested the softwares, the science revealed by Paramashiva himself. They have time-tested it over several thousands of years and made it safe for all of us to use, made it useful for all of us. All the Rishis, the great Aptas who have lived in the past and who are still living, like the Sapta Rishis and other great beings. Next is the Atma Pramana, the person who's initiating us, the person who we are being initiated by, that guru else through the initiation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has initiated all of us into these divine power manifestation. If you see in the life of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, he has manifested all kinds of different various power manifestations, whether it is the body scanning, remote vision, third eye reading, or any power. He has manifested it and demonstrated it multiple times. And one of those examples, one of those times where when Swamiji had fallen down, when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had fallen down from a horse and he had a multiple fracture on his hand, and he scanned himself and healed himself from the fracture that he had had. So this is one of the examples where Swamiji himself, the Supreme Point of Hinduism himself, manifested the power of body scanning, and through the body scanning also healing. So now we are going to be entering into the power manifestation. We have 1 more minute to get the person who we are going to be manifesting the power for. So let us be seated. If you can sit on the ground, sit on the ground. You can sit in Padmasana. You can sit in Padmasana with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. If you cannot sit in Padmasana, it's okay. You do not have to force yourself or anything. You can sit in a comfortable position as you want. But make sure that you're sitting straight. We are going to be starting the power manifestation. Yes, now we are going to be beginning with the power manifestation. Please sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Be seated on a chair or on the ground, if you can, in Padmasana. Sit straight. Close your eyes. Let us now visualize the Supreme Point of Hinduism, Swamiji, in our third eye. Any form where you feel the most connected to, where you feel the space of oneness with the Supreme Point of Hinduism, you can visualize any form that you like, any Bhava Samadhi Darshan, any initiation or any satsang, anything, any form you want to visualize of Swamiji, you can visualize those forms. Sit straight. And for those of you who are coming new to today's session, you can visualize any form of Swamiji. Let us now chant the Mahavakya intensely. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now, we can request Swamiji inside you to show the other person first. First, you can request Swamiji, Swamiji, please show me the other person through the power of the remote vision. Then you're going to be scanning the other person's body, so you can request Swamiji to show everything about the other person, whatever problem that the other person is facing, immediate problems, anything that can be, whatever they're facing right now. With respect to their body, you can scan all of those. You can request Swamiji to reveal those. You have 5 minutes to manifest the powers. Continuously, intensely chant the Mahavakya and visualize Swamiji in your third eye. Just now. Manifest the power. Continuously chant the Mahavakya in your throat center or aloud. Any way you like it, you can chant the Mahavakya. And make sure that you're writing everything that is being revealed to you, everything that Swamiji is showing to you in your third eye. Just continuously go on writing it. It does not always have to be that you're going to see the other person and you're going to see what that person is facing the problem with. But with the power of the remote vision, you'll be able to literally see the other person. But with the body scanning, it's not that you have to always see exactly what that person is facing. It can be that you are hearing it, or it can be like it's in written form, or you can see the person itself, like they're facing that problem. So it does not have to be that you are seeing it in any particular way. Swamiji can show it to you in various different ways. He can show it to you in any way. So do not expect anything that this is how I'm going to manifest, that is how I'm going to manifest. But you are going to be manifesting. So just decide that inside you. I am going to manifest this power today. Swamiji is going to manifest through this body, through your body, and manifest this power. Continuously chant the Mahavakya. Be intense in the power manifestation. We have 2 more minutes to do the power manifestation. So continuously write down everything that is being revealed to you in your third eye, whatever Swamiji is revealing to you. Make sure that you're writing down everything.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda. Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda. Paramashivoham.
We have 1 more minute to do the power manifestation. In a few seconds, we are going to be moving on to the next step. And now you have time to also take photos of yourself doing the power manifestation. While you're doing the power manifestation itself, you can ask someone to take photos of you, or you can take a selfie of yourself doing the power manifestation so that you can post it on the social media. We have a few more seconds now. Continue manifesting the powers and also taking the photos of you manifesting the powers. Now let us move on to the next step of today's power manifestation segment. Now you're going to be sharing the experience, sharing the revelation, what you had from Swamiji. Whatever Swamiji revealed to you, you're now going to be sharing that to the other person who you manifested this power for. So let us get ready now. You can call the other person, or you can also, if you have written it down on the paper, you can take a photo of that and also send it to the other person and call them and tell them that this is what you saw and this is what Swamiji showed to you during the power manifestation. You can also reveal, you can just call them and tell them that all of those details that you saw about the other person. Like first you can start with the description of how the other person was sitting or what the other person was doing, like the surroundings, what the other person was like, if they were sitting in their office or on a chair, or how the surroundings of them were, what they were sitting on, and the furniture that was in front of them. You can reveal all of those things to them. And then after that, you can start with the body scanning itself. You can start revealing to them everything Swamiji revealed to you about the other person. And also many of you would have seen the solutions to the problems that the other person is facing. Like Swamiji could have revealed any kind of a solution, anything that you saw as a solution for the other person that Swamiji revealed to you. You can reveal those solutions as well to the other person. And it's not that it's just some simple solution that if you leave it also, it's fine. These solutions are so powerful that you just follow it even for a few days. It will just make you completely healed from whatever you're suffering. So make sure that you're revealing all of these solutions to them if you have seen any solution, so that the other person is having the 100% benefit. And also, you all should know that when you're manifesting this power for the other person, it's not just simple scanning and giving of the solution. The healing itself happens when you look at the other person using your third eye. Swamiji will make the healing happen when you're using your third eye to scan the other person and also see. So that time, even the healing will happen to the other person. So now you can continue sharing to the other person. As I was saying, that all of these powers are from the Shastra Pramanas, which Paramashiva himself has revealed. Let us now listen to the Shastra Pramana from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 54 and Dharana 31, which is the power of the body scanning itself, where Paramashiva is revealing about the power of body scanning, which is now chant the verse. Swadehe jagato vapi sukshma sukshma tarani cha tattvani yani nilayam dhyatvante vyajyate para. The translation goes, cognize deeply that from subtle to the subtlest constitutive principles of your whole body, which is the Swadeha or of the whole universe, simultaneously consists of the reality. They are being absorbed in their source cause, which is the Sadashiva. By the experience of such restful awareness, one becomes complete from all the thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine power, which is the Paradevi, Adi Shakti, is revealed, and the supreme power manifestation then starts to happen. So this was the revelation of this science of the body scanning by Paramashiva himself. Now you can continue sharing to the other person, and whoever has finished sharing what was revealed to you by Paramashiva, by Swamiji himself, you can now share your experiences on the social media for the power manifestation on everything that you manifested, like how much you were able to see. Like you can, if you and the other person who you did the body scanning and the remote vision for, if you both are okay to share what was revealed, you can share that also. Or if you want to just say that you were able to see so much percentage of what the other person, and I'm sure most of you saw everything, whatever that person had written down, whatever the person was facing, you saw all of those problems. And many of you would have even seen the problems maybe the person had not written down, you would have seen those also. So you can share these as well. You can share all of this on the social media. You can tag the SPH Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page. And use the hashtags of Pacchai Pattini Vratham, which is the PPV. Then use the hashtag of Mariamman, hashtag KAILASA, hashtag power manifestation, and also the hashtag Nithyananda. So you can use these 5 hashtags while you're doing the sharing on social media. Make sure to share even your photos. Do not forget to share the photos that you took of yourself doing the power manifestation. You can share the photos as well. It is very important. You have a few more seconds now till we move on to the next segment of today's NTV session. So continue sharing your experience on the social media. All of you make sure that you're sharing all your experiences, any powerful cognition that you manifested while you're doing the power manifestation. You can share those as well, because these powers are manifesting from the state in the space of enlightenment itself, from the space of Swamiji himself, because he is manifesting through all of our bodies today, and whenever we are doing the power manifestation. So you can share that also. And for all those of you who are doing the Pacchai Pattini Vratham, you can also share your experience on how you're doing the Pacchai Pattini Vratham and how the Pacchai Pattini Vratham is helping you to manifest great things in your life, and what are the changes that you're having in your life after you started doing the Pacchai Pattini Vratham. So all of you can also use the hashtag PPP while you're doing the sharing for all the Pacchai Pattini Vratham participants. Make sure to do the social media sharing and share all your experiences through the social media. Now it is time to move on to the next segment. Let us move on to the next segment now. Thank you, Nithyananda.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your 3 eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasudashiva.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyananda, after now having the darshan of Devi Parashakti, of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and manifesting the superconscious powers and superconscious powers of Paramashiva, we are now going to be entering into the next segment of today's program, which is the Hindu votes. The Hindu votes are a part and is entering into the governing where all of you get to be an active part, an active revival of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. So to start off today, along with myself, we also have Suniti Brahmaskananda Maharaj, Nithyananda.
Nithyananda Maharaj.
Yes. And so both of us are going to be having a discussion about the Hindu history and how the Hindu history is the true history and why Hindu history is important for the Hindu identity of each and every one of us. And to start it off, in our life, how many of us have heard about the stories of Ramayana, have heard about the stories of Mahabharata and Bhagavatam? There are literally so many number of Puranas, of the Shiva Puranam. There's so many which falls in this category. We would have heard them as our bedtime stories. Some of them would be narrated to us by our grandparents. In the recent years, many of us are watching them as serials, as TV shows. But how many of us actually believe, factually believe, which we listen to are not just tales but facts? How many of us believe that everything narrated in the Ramayana actually happened as history? How many of us believe the incidents in the Mahabharata really happened? The characters which were described, the feats they were able to perform, whether really existed? For most of us, we have the respect for the Puranas and Itihasas. And to a certain extent, we believe that yes, maybe these people did exist. Maybe these characters actually walked the face of the earth, but not more than that. Many a time, we don't believe, we don't completely accept what is revealed in the Puranas and Itihasas as it is revealed. We feel that some of the descriptions are over-exaggerated. Sometimes they convey a spiritual context or to convey a certain principle. We do not give them the same place as we give the history which is taught as a part of the colonial mainstream education. With their forced distortive narrative of world events and Macaulay's clerk-focused and intelligence-killing education, the glorious Puranas and Itihasas have been labeled as mythology, as just stories of a tribal tradition which has no place in the so-called sophisticated society.
So the question now is, are our Itihasas and Puranas truth or myth? The straight answer is that they are much more truthful, honest, integrated, authentic version of what happened than any other historian's history and history written by any historian. After facing tons and tons of false accusations, lies, abuses by the modern day writers, the stories from our Puranas have archaeological, scientific backing. The discovery of the ancient sunken city of Dwarka beyond the coast of Gujarat is more than enough proof to establish the fact that Krishna existed and Mahabharata happened. The same with Kumarikandam. NASA has given the satellite images of the sunken landmass, including Ram Setu. In our Hindu nation, we will have a ministry doing archaeological and astronomical researches and mapping them to Hindu scriptures and Hindu Puranas, revealing it to the whole world. Sanatana Hindu Dharma is real. Hindu Puranas are real history. It is history of all 11 dimensions, not just one dimension alone. That is why this one-dimensional anti-Hindus cannot understand. Hindu-phobic idiots cannot understand. Our ministry will be dedicated to establish the authenticity of the Puranas and bring legitimacy, historical legitimacy to the Puranas to the whole world. Actually, the glory of the Hindus is glory of the whole humanity, not just for Hindus. If it can be revived and all the living beings, the human civilization can use all these benefits, and we can build a new grand civilization, not just for Hindus, but for the whole humanity.
Exactly, Maharaj. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism beautifully gives the definition, describes and tells us the importance of Puranas in not only as a culture and heritage importance, but the importance it has in our everyday life. Puranas are the authentic history, subjective truths. If we work little on this concept, understanding the great subjective truths like the Paramashivoham, Sohamasmi, we will understand the power of these Mahavakyas. Subjective truth is the most powerful truth. because then it will become even our objective reality. We all need to understand that all the reality we experience in our life started in us as subjective truth in one point in time. If you are experiencing richness now, it is a reality that has started in us as a subjective truth at some time. If you're experiencing poverty in us as a reality, that has also started as a subjective truth at some time. Maybe for the word poverty, we should not use the word subjective truth, but rather as an incompletion. Because there is a difference between the subjective truth and the incompletion. Incompletions, when we remember them, they make us more and more weak. They put us more into more depression, guilt, anxiety. It makes us more incomplete fundamentally. But the subjective truth, when we start remembering the subjective truth more and more and more, it makes us more and more stronger and expresses itself as reality. All our Puranas, all the 18 Puranas are subjective truths. When Bhagavatam says Krishna just picked up the whole Govardhana hill with his little finger, it is a truth for people who want to live that. This cannot be understood by insensitive minds. People who are insensitive, who are atheistic, going in that ideology, they can never understand this. When the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism shares that Arunagiri Yogeshwara appeared and gave Kavi to him and initiated the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism, it is a subjective truth for the people who want to live it. When the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism tells us the story, how he fed Ganesha and Ganesha ate the food, it is subjective truth. It is truth for the people who want to live it. Insensitive minds cannot understand this. Just because blind people cannot see, that does not mean the world around us does not exist. Just because we cannot see beyond the mountains and the hills, doesn't mean the sun does not rise in the east. So just because you are not seeing it or not willing to see it, you cannot say that the subjective truth does not exist. Puranas are not myths. It is actually the so-called Western history which is the real myth. Because the fellow who wins the game in history, they are the one who write the history. Whoever wins the war, they write the history. And that is how it is myth, because it is only presenting one part, a narrative of a single person. If history had been different, if Hitler had won the Second World War, then the world history would be completely different. But because Hitler lost, the history is different. There are more number of Hindus which were killed in Kashmir and Pakistan and during the separation of Pakistan than the number of Jews which were killed by Hitler. But unfortunately, there's no one talking about this. It is the so-called history which we are reading now. This is actually the real myth.
Yes, very rightly put, Maharaj. And in fact, the visions and Puranas written by our masters are not fantasies and myths. They had access to those lokas through their brain's capabilities awakened, through various processes, yogic techniques. This is why they saw what was going on between the Devatas and the demons, Asuras, and the Kshira Sagara Manthana, the Milky Ocean journey. And they described it so beautifully. Various intense breathing currents, breathing patterns getting awakened in our system and opening different constructs in our brain and having access to those dimensions is manifesting powerful cognitions. And that is what is having access to those multidimensional universe. The brain which conceived the Tanjavur Brihadishwara temple architecture, still we are not able to decode the mystery of the Brihadishwara temple. Anti-Hindu elements go on abusing the Hindu Puranas as myths. The brain which can conceive the concept of zero, the brain which has gone to the heights of theology. No poetry could be more sublime than Upanishads. Understand, a sublime poet will never be caught in delusion. Maybe a gross, lusty poet can get into delusion, but a sublime poets, those brains can never get caught in myths. And nobody understood the structure of the society as well as the genius of the Hindu brain. These brains which have perceived the truths like Ishavasya Upanishad, Kathopanishad, can never get deluded by the myth. Our Puranas are subjective truths. They are not myth.
Yes, exactly, Maharaj. It is the distortion of the authentic history through calculated methods and strategies to rip the Hindu tradition from the land of Bharat and changing our reality, infusing the cognition that our Puranas, our Itihasas are not real, and even going to the extent of defaming the Mahapurushas, defaming the legends of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. The colonial forces destabilized a rich, enlightened way of life and successfully inflicted the slow poison into the land of Bharat and into the mind of Hindus, which is still killing us till this date. This whole narrative, declaring that all the Puranas are myths and lies, they're stories and fairy tales, this is not an ordinary abuse being dumped on us. For more than 500 years, we Hindus themselves have started believing this. Hindus themselves believe that Ramayana and Mahabharata are not real and that they are just some made-up fantasies, some made-up mythology. We all need to understand Ramayana and Mahabharata. These stories are more real than the reality which we are existing in, the reality which we are seeing around us. If we think this room is real, the chair which we are sitting on is real, the system which we are using on is real, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and all the 18 Puranas by Bhagwan Vedavyasa are far more real.
Yes. In fact, the very message that we are trying to put today is, oh, Hindus, this is an important sacred secret we need to know. We allowed our past to be taken away from us, thinking it is just past. What can be done? What is the use? But we didn't understand that if our past is taken away, our right inner image is taken away, and our future is also taken away. Any civilization that does not know about its glorious past will not have confidence to build the glorious future. So when the invading colonial countries invaded and colonized Hindus, first thing they did is they deleted the past of the Hindus so that we will never gain the confidence and get the right inner image about ourselves and be introduced to our capabilities so we will never even think of our future. A civilization which forgets its glorious past is never going to even plan for its glorious future and will live and die forever as a slave. All Hindu celebrations, festivals, rituals, they are all embedded with this glorious past of the Hindu civilization. They are all a reminder to our glorious past.
Yes, Maharaj. And actually, we shared in yesterday's segment where many years back, more than a decade ago, the school textbooks in California had tried misrepresenting history, saying that the Mughals were a peaceful civilization while Hindus were a barbaric society. We all need to understand that the Mughal invasion over the Indian subcontinent lasted for more than a century. The violent ways of warfare, the violent and cruel ways they inflicted pain, death, without any honor, without any code of conduct, just doing as they want, inflicting the pain, the suffering upon the Hindu civilization. It is not just that they did all this. They're trying to change the narrative that they didn't even do this to begin with. All this was twisted in a way to brainwash the people about Hindus, to brainwash the people about Hinduism and what actually happened to our great empire.
Yes, yes, Maharaj. In fact, it is so important for us to know our true heroes from our own past. For example, Devi Parashakti herself incarnate on planet Earth. She was the queen who ruled over the entire, all the lokas, in fact, not just the planet Earth. At her time, she went around and conquered all the humanity that existed at that time. In fact, at that time, all the human settlement on the planet Earth was a collection of Hindu nations. She conquered all of it, but fortunately, she did not delete their past. This is a very important point. Actually, the way we Hindus are conquering is totally different. It is more like a contributing and establishing a higher form of administration. It is not like brutal killing, raping, and looting. No, the record says actually, after conquering all the deshas, she came back with just her own army. She did not loot and bring any wealth from any country. She only helped and supported them and to take them to a higher level of administration. It was more like a knowledge upgradation, you can say, knowledge upgradation or administrative upgradation that she did for the whole 56 kingdoms. Remembering this glorious past, Meenakshi's valor gives us the courage to build the glorious future. We need to understand Sanatana Hindu Dharma is all about contributing, not looting, not looting. We will hear multiple historical records how Shivaji treats the women of even the conquered kingdoms. The kingdoms he conquered, the women from those kingdoms, he treats them with utmost respect and reverence. The way Rajputs treated even their enemies. All these stories, knowing the glorious past gives us the confidence to build a glorious future.
Exactly, Maharaj. Actually, those who have grown up with the Puranas, with the powerful cognitions of the Puranas, of the Itihasas, of the ancient legends of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, they are extremely blessed having these as the bedtime stories, having these idols, having them as their role models, having Rama, Krishna, Parashurama, having all of them as their role models, with enlightenment as the context and purpose for life. Because right now, if you see the society, the youth only has the violence-based heroism which are being portrayed in modern-day entertainment media, and the twisted projection of our Puranic history in the modern-day school system. Without the foundation of the Puranas, the Hindu identity itself is lost. And this is where we're coming to by saying that in the beginning of the today's segment, we had touched on this topic, but right now, this is where it is being shown that by killing the Hindu history, the Hindu identity itself is being killed in every child. Because without the history of not just Hinduism, of any civilization, without the glorious history of it, you don't have a future for the civilization. Every Brahmotsavam, every festival, every part of Hindu heritage is based on the glorious past, the rich past which we have. It is based on the happenings of Rama landing on this planet, based on the happenings of Krishna happening on this planet, based on Rajeshwari, how she assumed how her happening happened. It is based on all of these Puranic histories, Puranic stories, the festival, the lifestyle, the way we live, the culture we enjoy, all of this is created. And so by directly mythifying the history, mythifying the Puranas, and trying to say that it is false, it is not true, and going to the extent of even defaming Rama, even defaming Krishna, you're literally killing Hinduism itself.
Yes. And in fact, in this context, it is very important for us to understand that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, because of his active revival of authentic Hinduism and maintaining the standard of being in alignment with the source scriptures of Hinduism, has been put under a tremendous amount of persecution himself, and he himself has been ridiculed in various ways. By putting every effort to ruin his image, the same Hindu media forces that have been actively misrepresenting Hindu history are trying to prevent the revival of the grandeur of the enlightened Hindu civilization. Morphed videos, along with over 17,000 hours of defamatory content on live national television and social media, were created to paint a false narrative on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and his mission. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has inherited this mission of creating KAILASA, the first Hindu nation, from his predecessors, from his Guru Parampara, because it is only through a Hindu nation does Hinduism stand a chance against this centuries-long conspiracy.
Though the attempts have been many, never before has the ongoing persecution been presented on the world stage, bringing international awareness to the horrors faced by practicing Hindus. But now after decades, after years of persecution being done on Hinduism and happening on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the tides are now shifting. We are finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. In the United Nations, the Interpol, and revered and respected personalities of the public space are already recognizing the ongoing persecution on Hinduism and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. More and more media outlets are reaching out to learn the truth about the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and learn the truth and what Kailasa is all about, so that the authentic information can be provided to the whole world, can be provided to the public, to the international community. The continuous, untiring efforts of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in reviving the enlightened Hindu civilizational nation are now being recognized worldwide. Today's segment, we covered what it means for a culture to be bereft of its own history and the serious consequences that arise from living based on a foreign constructed narrative. So with this, we come to the poll, we come to the question which we all have to you today in the form of Hindu votes. In Hinduism, the democracy is a responsible democracy. Those who are educated, who have studied, who know the field about the specific thing which they're educated about the specific topic which they're educated about, they coming together and voting on this relevant topic they are experts of. That is the responsible democracy of Hinduism. Because not everyone and anyone can vote on every specific thing. Every issue which Hindu society is facing, every issue being faced by Hindus, by practicing Hindus, being brought to the public forum and being addressed is the purpose of Hindu votes. Kailasa, as you all already know, is the first Hindu nation created for Hindus by Hindus. By becoming a part of Kailasa's free e-citizenship, you can participate in the Hindu votes where you are actively a part of the major decisions being taken for the governance of Kailasa. These decisions and these votes which we make right now have a direct impact of not only the lives of ourselves and the current citizens of Kailasa, but for generations to come. We are living right now in a very important historic period where we have the chance to be an active part of the functioning, active part of the governance of the Kailasa nation, which is setting the trend, the standard for all laws for posterity. By participating right now in the Hindu votes, you are becoming an active part of the revival of the first Hindu nation. And so coming back to the topic, to what we covered today, the Puranas share the multidimensional subjective truths which are happening throughout all the 13 lokas. Our rishis, the highly developed beings of Vedic tradition, delivered and made them available to humanity in such a way that even though the recorded history is thousands and thousands of years old in the past, we can still astrologically retrace exactly when and where the happening took place. No other historic recording can claim this level of precision. Instead, the modern day history is based on the interest of those who won the recent wars and claim control of the narrative about what happened. So the question which we are putting up for all of you today, should Hindus and history based on Puranas and the contemporary biographies of Mahapurushas be made mandatory in the school curriculum instead of colonial history? So the options for the Hindu vote, the options for the polling are yes, it should be made mandatory. No, it should not be made mandatory, and you would want more information. So to cast your vote about whether Hindu history, which is based on the Puranas and the biographies of Mahapurushas, whether this should become the mandatory syllabus in our schools instead of colonial history. To cast your vote on what do you think should be done about this, you can head over to Twitter, to the official handle of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which is Sri Nithyananda. Head over to Twitter right now and cast your vote as to what do you think should be done about this specific issue. So with this, we'd like to thank all of you. Thank Brahmasukha Maharaj as well. Thank you, Maharaj, for coming today, being a part of the Hindu votes, and all our viewers as well for attending the program and participating, being a part of the active revival of Kailasa. So thank you so much, all our viewers. Thank you so much, Brahmasukha Maharaj. And we would like to everyone to come back to stay tuned and join us again for tomorrow's segment, for tomorrow's session, where we're going to enter into more and more deeper topics, more and more deeper truths, and more debates about how we should govern ourselves as the Hindu community, as the Hindu society. And so now with this, it is time to enter into the next segment of today's program, which is the Nithyananda Satsang. Let us enter into the meditation to prepare ourselves to receive the blessings and grace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Please sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your Ananda Gandha. Visualize the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism residing in your Ananda Gandha as Paramashiva with the 25 heads and 15 hands. 25 heads and 50 hands. Now, start chanting the Mahavakya mantra, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, and allow the mantra to reverberate throughout your entire being. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Om Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Samarambam Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva Shakti Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome you all with my love and blessing. The first powerful cognition, the truth, I want to give you all. Now, through the initiation I am going to give you all, I awaken the Paramashiva in you, make you all manifest the ultimate life, Paramashiva. As Paramashiva has blessed me, he himself has manifested in me, I'll make him manifest in you all now, because he has authorized me to manifest him in all of you. Listen intensely. I'll give you some of the most guarded secrets of the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there may be some gurus who experienced ultimate within them, but they will not know how to teach. There are some, even if they know to teach, they do not know how to transmit the experience. There are some who would have had experience, but not the traditional initiation. There are some who would have had experience and initiation, but may not know how to transmit. There are some who would have had initiation and experience and even know how to transmit, but they may not have received initiation, the right to transmit. That's called Acharya Abhishekam. Even if you know the method to transmit to others, you should be ritualistically initiated, authorized by the Guru Parampara through Acharya Abhishekam. Means the right to initiate others should be given to you ritualistically by the right authorities. There are some who may have capacity to transmit the initiation, can in turn initiate others. In every level, he gave me everything just by making one right decision, making this body happen in Tiruvannamalai. That ecosystem gave all the 16 things needed for an ultimate guru. Intellectual knowledge, enlightenment experience, right to transmit the intellectual knowledge, right to transmit the experience, proper initiation into intellectual knowledge, proper initiation into enlightenment experience, proper initiation to initiate others into intellectual knowledge, proper initiation into initiate others into enlightenment, proper initiation to initiate my disciples to authorize them to initiate others into intellectual knowledge, proper capability to initiate my disciples to teach others the intellectual knowledge, rightful initiation to authorize my disciples to empower others with enlightenment experience, proper initiation to initiate my disciples to empower others with enlightenment experience, initiating my disciples into enlightenment and initiating them to transmit enlightenment in every level, totally 16 level. All 16 He showered on me. All 16 He blessed me. So with His grace, compassion, and the authority, with His grace, with Paramashiva's grace and Paramashiva's compassion and the authority Paramashiva showered on me directly and through the unbroken Guru Parampara, chain of Guru Parampara, I initiate all of you into Paramashiva Jnana, Paramashivadvaita, intellectually, experientially, ritualistically, and giving the Shakti Pada, Shakti Nipada initiation. So understand this initiation connects you with Paramashiva directly through a proper, unbroken, avichinna, unbroken, authentic Guru Parampara. Avichinna Guru Parampara, which is a fundamental requirement along with enlightenment experience. Please understand, just because of enlightenment experience, somebody is not authorized to initiate. Avichinna Guru Parampara Diksha is required. So this introduction I gave now, listen again and again, then you will understand. I am not disrespecting any enlightened beings, but just enlightenment does not give the right to initiate others. Just enlightenment means they found a boat to cross the ocean of samsara, ocean of delusion, that's all. But they do not have the capacity to take others. But they will not know to produce the disciples who can transmit the initiation to others. There are some who knows to produce disciples, but they will not have the authority to initiate the disciples as acharya. In multiple level, there may be some who are intellectually able, have initiation, but not experience. There may be some who are intellectually able to transmit the knowledge, but don't have the right to initiate others from the right proper authority, Guru Parampara. Understand all these nuances by the great compassion and grace of Paramashiva. He showered all the right and best ultimate things on me. Enlightenment experience and right ritualistic proper initiation from enlightened gurus, ability to teach and right initiation authorizing me to teach from the Guru Parampara, unbroken Guru Parampara from himself, from Paramashiva himself, and ability to transmit the experience and right authorization and right initiation authorizing me to transmit the initiation to others from the unbroken chain of Guru Parampara, unbroken succession of Guru Parampara, and ability to make the disciples initiate others and ritualistic initiation authorization to initiate my disciples into Acharya Abhishekam by authorizing them to initiate. Understand this multi-level, multi-layer, everything Paramashiva showered on me by choosing the right place, Tiruvannamalai. Just because he chose Arunachala for manifesting as this body, Arunachala gave me experience, intellectual knowledge, right initiations. Listen, there are some gurus who are enlightened, but they did not receive proper ritualistic initiation. So their enlightenment is useful for them, but not for everyone. Not only he gave me the knowledge to teach others, he gave me the authority, authentic initiation from the Guru Parampara to teach to others. Not only he gave me the power to transmit the experience, he gave me the authentic Guru Parampara, Acharya Abhishekam, Nirvana Diksha, the authority to initiate others and authority to transmit this experience to others. Not only he gave me the power to initiate my disciples to initiate others, he gave me the authentic, unbroken lineage of Guru Parampara, Diksha, as a Paramacharya to initiate Acharyas Upara. Menmaigul Saivanidi, Vilangida Olagellam. The great tradition, ultimate tradition of Shaivism, Paramadvaita, to flourish all over the universe. Not only I transmit enlightenment, I give formal initiation also. So now, Mahavagya Upatesam. So sit and listen. Om, 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 Om Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Om Shivaya Nama. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Hrim Shivaya Nama. Om Ham Haum Shivaya Nama. Om Shivoham. Om Shivoham. Om Shivoham. Om 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 Paramashiva. Om Paramashiva. Om Paramashivaya Namaha. Om Hrim Paramashivaya Namaha. Om Hrim Paramashivaya Namaha. Om Ham Haum Paramashivaya Namaha. Om Paramashivoham. Om Paramashivoham. Om Om Nithyanandam. Om Nithyanandam. Om Hrim Nithyanandaya Namaha. Om Hrim Nithyanandaya Namaha. Om Nithyanandoham. Om Nithyanandoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Om. Now sit. I will make this mantra reverberate in you through the Shakti Pada and Shaktini Pada and awakening your Kundalini Shakti. Om, 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 Om. Even if they have capacity, Shakti wise, some enlightened beings have the energy to lift others, but they do not have the initiation, means authorization from the Avichinna Guru Parampara to do that. Guiding, lifting others. So, you need everything. Knowledge, power, initiation for yourself, and the authorization to initiate others, and authorization to initiate others to initiate others as acharyas. All the 16 level, 16 things needed, Paramashiva showered on me just by making me take birth in Arunachala. In Arunachala, all the 16 was available for me. He made it available and showered all the 16 on me. Hope all of you are understanding the subtle differences. Why initiation? Why Swamiji? Why initiation and why from Nithyananda Paramashivam? The question is categorically answered in this one session. All of you celebrate Paramashiva himself is directly showering this on all of you. There are some gurus who are enlightened but not systematically initiated. There are some gurus enlightened, systematically initiated for their enlightenment, but not systematically initiated to initiate others. That is called Acharya Abhishekam. Listen, you are getting initiated to live Paramashiva Twa, the Paramashiva's lifestyle. I always tell, practice in this Kailasa, perform in Maha Kailasa. Practice devotion, practice lifestyle of Paramashiva in this Kailasa, perform in Maha Kailasa. Initiation into living Paramashivatva is Charya Pada. That initiation is called Sivadiksha, Samayadiksha. Then initiation into enlightenment is Visheshadiksha. Initiation into Paramadvaita is Nirvana Diksha. Initiation authorizing you to initiate others is Acharya Abhishekam. Initiation authorizing you to transmit enlightenment to your disciples and in turn authorizing them to initiate others is Paramacharya Abhisheka. Paramashiva showered everything on me: power, capacity and initiation, just by making me born in Tiruvannamalai. In that ecosystem, he brought everything and showered it on me. Lohini is messaging, Swamiji, most of what you are sharing is going over my head, but I fully understand. I am totally blessed to be sitting at your feet. Lohini, you should listen to this session again and again. I'll ask them to replay. If you understand this session, you will be able to answer others' questions. Why, Swamiji? Many people may say, yes, I accept Hinduism is great. I also want to practice Hinduism. But why, Swamiji? Why, Swamiji? That question, why, Swamiji, will be answered with this one session. Especially if you are teaching to others. If you are my sannyasi who is supposed to teach to others, if you are my disciple who is interested in enriching others, causing others, you need to know, understand this whole session. You need to make others understand why, Swamiji. For that, you need this session. There are many gurus who are enlightened, but not authentically received the initiation from Avichinna Guru Parampara. Avichinna Guru Parampara means unbroken successional lineage of Guru Parampara. There are some who even received enlightenment and initiation, but only for them to celebrate it, enjoy it, not authorizing them to initiate others. So the 16 levels: intellectual knowledge, initiation, experience, and ability, authority to initiate others intellectually, experientially, and enlightenment, and initiating others to in turn initiate others to continue the Guru Parampara. So understand, Paramashiva showered all the 16 dimensions from Sivadiksha to Paramacharya Abhishekam. So, with this clarity, sit and receive initiation. I think this introduction should be given for all initiation sessions, so people understand from who they receive initiation. They are receiving the initiation. Om, Om, Om. Om, Om. Listen. First, in Hindu tradition, you are always initiated into Gayatri. So I am initiating all of you into Gayatri mantra. Just listen and repeat along with me. So listen to the Gayatri mantra and listen, repeat along with me. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Now, I will again repeat. So I will again repeat. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Diyo yo na prachodayat. Now listen. Listen to the Samaya Diksha, Siva Diksha level 1. Listen to this intensely and recite along with me. This is the password to open up yourself to Paramashiva and to open Mahakailasa to you. Om Ham Aum Shivaya Namaha. Om Ham Aum Shivaya Namaha. Om Ham Aum Shivaya Namaha. Listen. There are many gurus, great enlightened beings. See, I am not comparing, I am not disrespecting any of my predecessors, my Guru Parampara, or my predecessors. For example, Ramana Maharishi is not only an enlightened being, a great being who can transmit enlightenment, but he never initiated anyone formally. He himself repeated multiple times, because I did not receive formal initiation, I am not authorized to initiate anyone formally. His whole life, he never initiated anyone formally with an open, clear declaration. He said, I did not receive formal initiation, so I will not give formal initiation. If you read Ramana Maharishi's life and his teachings, you will read this. You can read this. There are many gurus who did not initiation others just because they did not receive formal initiation. Ramana Maharshi said, when Sringeri Mutt sent acharyas to initiate Ramana Maharshi said, in Tiruvannamalai, whoever lives, they don't need initiation. So I don't need initiation. Same way, I am also not going to initiate anyone. Arunachala himself initiated Ramana Maharshi, but he did not come in human form and formally initiate. So, he never initiated anyone formally. Arunachala is Ramana Maharishi's guru. He gave enlightenment to Ramana Maharshi, but he did not assume the human form and gave the initiation ritualistically. So naturally, Ramana Maharshi also never initiated others ritualistically. I am not disrespecting Ramana Maharshi. I am not comparing myself with them. I am just stating the nuances, subtle nuances of the spiritual world. A great person like Ramana Maharshi, if you go to him, he will give you experience, no doubt, but he will not give you formal initiation. I give you experience and formal initiation, both, because I want this Guru Parampara to continue, flourish. Buddha Parambarai Poliya, the Shiva Buddha Parampara, மேன்மைகுள் சைவநீதி விளங்கிட உலகெல்லாம். The great tradition, ultimate tradition of Shaivism, Paramadvaita, to flourish all over the universe. Not only I transmit enlightenment, I give formal initiation also. So now, Mahavagya Upatesam. So sit and listen. Om, 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 Om Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Om Shivaya Nama. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Hrim Shivaya Nama. Om Ham Haum Shivaya Nama. Om Shivoham. Om Shivoham. Om Shivoham. Om 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 Paramashiva. Om Paramashiva. Om Paramashivaya Namaha. Om Hrim Paramashivaya Namaha. Om Hrim Paramashivaya Namaha. Om Ham Haum Paramashivaya Namaha. Om Paramashivoham. Om Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyanandam. Om Nithyanandam. Om Hrim Nithyanandaya Namaha. Om Hrim Nithyanandaya Namaha. Om Nithyanandoham. Om Nithyanandoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om 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 Om. Now sit. I will make this mantra reverberate in you through the Shakti Pada and Shaktini Pada and awakening your Kundalini Shakti. Om, 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 Om. Usually at this Samadhi level, when I verbalize, common man can't grasp as per his logic. So he will have his own confusion, misinterpretation. So I'll wait for a little more settling down so it can be verbalized into your language. The language you understand, the rationality or the rationale means the the logic level of a common human being. So I'll settle down to that and then start expressing. I have so many wonderful things from Kailasa to all of you. Raising the intensity of the integrity will keep you all prepared to receive this whole thing. Be like Devi, Brahmanda Yoni, Parashakti, waiting to receive. Be like Parashakti, you will receive Paramashiva intensely, beautifully. Remember yourself as Parashakti and wait to receive Paramashiva. Even this intense waiting, a deep passive waiting, can just make you explode in enlightenment. When Paramashiva delivers his message, just by a word, by an initiation, by mantra, just you can explode. It is possible. So prepare yourself with a deep waiting. Many people ask me how to receive Devi's grace fully. Listen carefully. Be very clear. Literally, you are seeing Paramashiva and Parashakti at that moment. She is there in your screen. So always receive them very traditionally. Keep 2 betel leaf, 1 banana, 1 betel nut in front of the screen. You watch Devi. 1 coin. It can be lowest unit available for you. It can be $1 or even 1 cent is okay. Coin. Coin is the traditional dakshina given in Hindu tradition. It can be lowest value. If you are in India, it can be 25 paise or 10 paise, or even if you get 1 paise coin, that is okay. If you are in US, it can be even quarter or even a cent. If you get a cent coin, that is also okay. Keep a coin. Coin is considered to be traditional dakshina. 1 betel nut, 2 betel leaf, 1 banana, 1 lowest minimum possible coin available for you. Offer that to Devi. That's the way the dakshina is offered traditionally. And after the darshan is over, do namaskar and eat that banana, betel leaf and betel nut. Take it as a prasadam immediately. That coin, collect, then send it to our temple, maybe the Los Angeles temple. You can send it. Keep minimum coin. I am not trying to monetize, please understand. You can keep 1 cent. But the traditional respect is giving some minimum coin. Especially women, Devi, when she comes, at least 2 betel leaf, 1 betel nut, 1 banana, 1 coin. As I said, it does not even need to be $1 coin. It can be even 1 cent coin. 1 cent is also okay. Whichever country you are living, the minimum denomination coin available, keep just 1 coin and offer it. After the darshan is done, eat that betel leaf and betel nut, banana. The coin, send it to nearest temple. Los Angeles is best as a dakshina. That's it. Listen. This betel leaf, betel nut may look too small, but once you start this, you will understand in few days how much it adds to your sentiment that really she is there. You will not take the Devi darshan for granted. That is why this betel leaf, betel nut. Listen carefully. Rituals will break your monotonous, unconscious mentality, lifestyle, and it will remind you and raise you to the powerful cognition. It will break your unconscious behavior. After 2-3 days, you forget you are having Devi in the screen from Kailasa appearing directly. This 2 betel leaf will remind you, hey, Devi is appearing on the screen. You are receiving her ritualistically. That is why I am saying, I am not even expecting you to keep $1. Keep 1 cent. So 100 days, if you see darshan, only then it will get added up into $1. I think 1 cent is, 100 cent is $1. That's what I think. I don't know the. So keep even 1 cent is okay. If you are in India, you can keep even 1 paise or 10 paise, whatever minimum coin available, you can keep. But this betel leaf, betel nut, banana, and this coin, don't forget. It can even be dry leaf, that is okay. Om Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivasamarambam
I bless you all. Let you all open all your 3 eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasada Shiva.